Every day babies are born, couples are married, and the dead are buried. Landmark events in the cycle of life. We chose a single day in an ordinary city and for 24 hours watched as people's lives were transformed forever. Modern Britain from midnight to midnight. A snapshot of how we now deal with the most important moments in our lives. Love, life, death. Minute by minute, hour by hour. The story of an ordinary day and the extraordinary things that happen.
It's 7 o'clock on Friday the 20th of June. The headlines today. Union leaders are meeting to discuss the
It's a sunny start to Midsummer's Day in Bristol, but light rain will be coming in from lunchtime onwards.
Bristol on the longest day of the year. By the time the city wakens, a small army has been busily preparing from the early hours for the births, the funerals, and the weddings that are going to happen today. The institution of marriage may have changed out of all recognition, but weddings themselves are as popular as ever, and today in Bristol there will be 15 of them. Laura is getting married at 1 o'clock this afternoon. This is her big day, and she's thought of little else for a very long time.
Can I have a cigarette now?
No.
We've now been engaged 18 months.
And how long have you been planning the wedding?
18 months.
That's what Laura said.
Laura's been planning it 18 months, yeah.
I've been planning this wedding since the day after I got engaged, non-stop. Every weekend, every day, I've thought of something else. The cars, the dress, the cake, the bridesmaids' dresses, the flower girl dresses, the flowers. You've got what favours to have for people, what boxes to put the favours in, or if you want bags, whether you want white linen napkins or if you want coloured linen napkins. I don't think people realise until you organise a wedding how much there is to do and, you know, all the little things you've got to think about as well.
Laura and Bevan's wedding is in a hotel, one of 33 venues in Bristol where you can marry, other than the registry office or a place of worship. Fewer and fewer people choose church weddings these days, and this is the only one in town today.
Greg and I both come from Christian backgrounds. I've always thought marriage is quite important, so if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it in a church, and it's quite important that we both wanted that same thing, so it seemed quite natural to get married in a church.
They're lovely flowers.
We've lived together for 4.5 years. Having lived together for so long, it's the sort of the next stage for us. We want to make a commitment and start the rest of our lives together, really. So getting married is the next step for us.
Nowadays, there's no such thing as a traditional wedding. Everyone seems to take what they want from whatever tradition they like, and then mould it to suit themselves.
Well, I'm all right because I haven't got the shakes yet, so...
A change in the law in 2005 has made it possible for Shell to marry her partner of 13 years.
It's a civil ceremony, really, but to Mel and I, it's a wedding, and especially to Mel, because she always wanted us to get married, and this is her big day. It's the biggest day of our lives, really.
My morning breakfast, tea and toast. The rings, the cakes, the flowers, table decorations, fireworks. We've made it as traditional as we can get it, apart from being two brides. It means the world. Just to be there. And to get married to the woman I love. And spend the rest of my life with.
All right, you up? How long you been up?
She always wanted to be a bride.
Yeah. Really, haven't you?
Yeah.
Don't start. I'll see you later on. All right, love you.
What are you going to do to make her not cry the whole way through the day?
So, it should be murder.
But it's not just weddings that are taking place today. It's dawn at South Bristol Crematorium, and preparation has begun for the 11 funerals being held here. Funerals for people who died only a matter of days ago. This grave is for Martin Cripps, who was just 26 years old.
Martin was my brother. He was just my younger brother. I loved him very much. You know, always being mischievous and taking my things and breaking my things and doing all the things that little brothers do. We were always fighting. He was a really nice person. You know, he was one of the best brothers you could have wished for, to be honest.
The night before it happened, he was complaining about his art. He said, fill me art. And it was pounding. But it's not the first time it's happened. What we should have done was took him to the hospital, obviously, but he just wrote it off.
As lives end, so others begin. Today in Bristol, 35 babies will be born.
I'll go to the hospital, remember? I was having the baby today, remember? Baby's coming out, yeah? Yeah, you gonna come downstairs?
By Friday night, I will have 3 children under the age of 5, which is a scary thought. It would be nice if it was a little girl, just, you know, so I'm not outnumbered in the house, really. But I think it's going to be another little boy.
Can we not do this tomorrow?
It'll be just as bad tomorrow.
You got fear, panic, worry, happiness, elation, more panic, more fear. Seriously scary.
Sue's first 2 children were born by caesarean section.
Yeah.
So as she heads off to hospital, she already knows baby number 3 will be delivered the same way.
You just go in and wait, and it depends on if there's any emergencies. I don't know if there's a list and, you know, if I'm at the top or bottom of the list. I don't know anything yet.
When we wake up in the morning, we think we know what the day ahead will bring. For most of us, it will probably be just another ordinary day. But for some, the day ahead will be extraordinary, and their lives will change forever. Sue and Jason have arrived early at Southmead Maternity Unit, fully equipped and rather nervous about what lies ahead.
Over there. This pregnancy's been the worst. They've got worse as they've gone on. I feel too old for any more now, so I think to have any more would be silly. I don't think I'd cope.
Shall I fall or will you?
You can try.
What age are you?
37.
Because it's a major operation and you don't know what can happen, but there's still that lingering unease. There might be something wrong with the baby.
What you need to do is gel your hands here.
Yeah.
Through the double doors on the left-hand side, turn left into the corridor.
Yeah.
Come left again, down the slope behind me and turn right and just follow the signs.
Right, brilliant.
Okay, if you get lost, I'm right behind you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The scans we've had say it's all fine, yeah, but there's still that
Thank you.
little element of doubt till it gets pulled out. You don't know.
The maternity unit corridors are full of nervous, expectant parents.
Do you know how many phone calls I've got to do? Got people that ringing.
From your family?
Friends and family, everyone, even my bank manager rang me up and asked me
So everybody's excited about this baby then?
Yeah.
Simon and Santosh have been planning this first baby for many years.
Well, we met when we were 11 years old. We're in our grandparents' village, and I went there for the first time with my family, and we just we seen each other, and then we just we had a little glance, and then stood there for a while, and then told my mum and said, "Oh, I found this nice girl," and introduced her, and Mum was very happy and nice, pleased, and she said, "Well, I'll arrange the marriage," and I said, "Well, there you go, love and arrange." She's very religious and prays a lot, and with the photo she had, of a goddess on there, the Indian goddess, she believes in that. So basically, that just gives her the energy she needs to not feel any pain or not get worried about things. That's why she's so calm. Yeah.
Up you go.
Santosh came to Britain from Uttar Pradesh in India last year. She doesn't speak any English, so Simon translates everything for her.
I'm Dr. Madden, I'm an anaesthetist. You want an epidural, I believe. Right, yeah. What we'll do is we'll get you to curl up on your side. Alright? Little scratch, this will sting a bit. Very good.
Being daddy for the first time. Been waiting for it quite a long while as well, I've been really eager.
Britain has the highest teenage pregnancy rate in Europe. Anthony was just 16 when he found out he was going to be a father. His baby Brooklyn was born at 3 o'clock this morning.
Hey Mum, he's born. £7.2. You alright? Bit emotional, but We didn't plan it, it just happened, but when it happened we were happier that it happened because our love got stronger, so we were happy about that. Deep down inside I've always wanted to be a dad. I'm happy now, extremely, got a family. First thing I've ever wanted in my life. Settled down with a girl I actually do love and hope to never lose.
I am never.
There you are.
I was gonna have an abortion, but we had to have a talk about it, and then I decided to keep it. I find it wrong to kill something just because we made a mistake.
Being able to look after something that, say look after a dog, it dies after a while, doesn't it? But if you look after a child, it stays with you for the rest of your life until you pass on.
Have you got a job, Anthony?
I did have a job, but it was only Christmas temporary. Right. So I've got to go out looking for jobs. I've applied for Asda, but no phone call. I'm just over the moon about him. He's beautiful, isn't you, baby? Alright, now smile back, love.
Today has brought the first taste of family responsibility to Anthony and Emma.
Let's get this sorted out, shall we? Where's it gone?
But Ian, still only in his 20s, is already an old hand at parenting. This afternoon he's getting married to Joanne.
There are 4 children in our family, 3 girls and a boy. Joanne was previously married, so the 3 girls are from her previous relationship. And then since me and Joanne have been together, we had our son as well.
Joanne's at the hotel getting ready. She became a mother at the age of 15, and her 2 eldest daughters were at her first wedding.
I think it's going to be a lot better than the other ones. Why? Because it's our own wedding. So, you've been to another wedding before. Mum and Dad's wedding. You was only a baby, so you won't remember. I know I was a baby. Leave that alone.
Shannon, my eldest, came to me one day and said, "Is it okay if we call Ian Dad?" I said, "You can call him whatever you like." And from there, it's been Dad. So
And they still see their own...
Yeah, quite confusing actually. I mean, they call him Dad and they call the puppy Dad. So when they're in our house, it's Dad and their dad is Paul. Yet when they're up there, it's Dad and Ian. I get confused by it, but they seem to manage fine.
I think family means everyone being together. You can rely on each other, you can support each other. You know you've got your place in life, you know you've got people there who rely on you, who depend on you, and you make a genuine, difference to their lives. And nothing better than that, really, is there?
What age were you when you met Joanne?
22.
So you were 22 when you took the decision to sort of take on 3 kids?
Yes.
There's lots of people turning up now.
And did you always want to get married to him?
Yes. Yeah, always. It's important because it will officially bring us as a family. I mean, even though we are a family now, it just makes it more real, more official, and much better.
Perfecto.
They're just pushing some. Yeah, it's fine.
Really nice day. Hope the weather holds up for you.
Yeah. For any relationship, it's a sense of belonging. You kind of like belong to somebody, and obviously we love each other.
Now we're getting somewhere near right foot. Tuck that in now. Too comfortable.
It's a man's suit, and it's also, the waistcoat is in lilac, which is in memory of Mel's nan, which died last year, and it's just a little way of remembering her on the day. The last time I wore a dress was when I left school, and I haven't put one on since.
That's Karen's, Amy's. Dad's.
Legally, there's so much red tape nowadays that a marriage certificate means that we've got the same rights as everybody else.
There we are, all
Believe
set.
this is my baby daughter, would you?
It's Mel's right, if anything should happen, that she should have the choice. She's the one that knows me better than anybody, and I know her better than anybody. So that's the ring that Mel doesn't know that she got. But she will know when I put it on her finger in how many hours' time? 4?
4 hours and 5 minutes. Take those out of it.
Caroline is preparing for her marriage to Adam this afternoon. They've planned a very different and unusual wedding.
I'm getting married, which is amazing. I'm getting married twice, in fact, all on the same day. First at the registry office, and then we're going to go to Avebury and have a ham fasting at midnight. The ham fasting is the most important bit for us because it means that we'll be spiritually bound. I wouldn't say that I am a typical pagan, but there's a lot in the way of pagan way of life that links in with my own kind of way of life.
You're nearly there. I know. Getting wedding jitters.
I think if you feel that strongly about somebody and you know you want to spend huge amounts of your time with them, then it's just the perfect thing as a statement to the rest of the world about how you feel about each other.
Tighter or looser? Okay.
We met at Warwick Castle. It was a beautiful summer's day in August last year. And it just took 2 days really for us to know that we wanted to be with each other and fell desperately in love with each other.
I'm eager for the day now, I think. I'm ready for the day, you know. It kind of feels like it's a long time coming even though we've known each other for such a short amount of time as well, so it's kind of nice. I think we have a karmic connection that we may have known each other previously and we may have... and we all come to this world in different kind of stages and levels, and I think that kind of has a reflection and representation of karma, because everybody would be the same without it, I think. You know, everybody would have, I mean, regardless of your education or your upbringing. Am I rambling on? I'm going on a tangent, aren't I? Oh, sorry.
For some people, today will mark the end of a life. Later this morning is the funeral of Martin Cripps. Martin was 26 and suffered from a heart condition. He died suddenly last week.
I was quite aware of his illness because we used to play a lot of football together at dinner time, and he would always have to sit down and have a rest because of his condition. His heart would be beating, you know, twice as fast as it should be. I don't know the ins and outs of what happened in the end with his medication and whatever else. You know, I think he was not taking his medication because he thought he was all right. He always thought he was invincible, my brother, always. Always thought he was invincible. Nothing can harm him, nothing can do anything to him. I think he thought that he can go on till at least 50, 60 years old doing what he was doing and, you know, whatever, enjoying himself, and no, he didn't get that far.
The undertaker is a friend of the family and has brought Martin and David's mother Anne to check on the flowers for her son's coffin.
So, what flowers have we got, Carol?
We've got sun, bro, and
bro.
poor cake.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
David's
Sally's got to go on bro, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to be strong for my mum. I don't want to go down and sit there crying with her. I just want to be strong for her, and I don't want to feel like I'm taking the focus off of her. I want her to have the focus. She's lost a son. And I don't want to say, oh yeah, come on Ma, I want a bit of sympathy as well. I just want to be strong for her. I don't like people seeing me weak. I don't want to be weak in front of people. I want everyone to think that everything's fine with Dave. Dave's all right. Dave can get through everything.
All right, darling? Okay, let's get next door. We'll see you in a bit.
Death, unlike marriage nowadays, has not been liberated in the same way from tradition. Funerals still require a certain protocol, and we seem to find comfort from religion being part of our final farewells. Today in Bristol, there will be 36 funerals.
My uncle came to this country in 1962. His name was Henry Vincent Vassell, and he was 85 years old when he died. When I woke up that morning, in the morning of the funeral, I wasn't quite sure how many people were going to actually turn up to the funeral, other than my brothers and my sisters and myself. My fear was that there was going to just be a handful of people in the church. He was on his own for quite some time, and he became ill. When I did find him, he was basically sat in his room on his own. I took him to the doctors, was the beginning of April, and it's at that point we discovered that obviously something was seriously wrong, and it later transpired that he had lung cancer.
Support us all other day long with this.
It was basically from that point that was in his life on a daily basis until the time he died.
Henry, go forth upon your journey from this world. In the name of God, the Father Almighty.
The West Indian tradition is to open the casket for mourners to pay their final respects.
You're very welcome to come up now as the organ plays choir.
It was only opened at the end, so people could come along, pay their respects, and just see him one last time. It was just nice to, you know, see him smartly dressed as he would have liked to be, because it looks like they're asleep rather than they're dead. It just gives you a bit more comfort to say, you know, they look peaceful. I wanted to send him off in a way that he would be happy. He'd be proud to know that he had people that cared and supported him. It's like anybody who's close to you, really and truly. You just want to do the best for them.
For everyone for whom today is special, the moment they've been waiting for, planning, dreaming of, or dreading, has now finally arrived.
Yeah, I'm good. Are you at the registry office yet?
Of the 15 couples getting married in Bristol today, nearly all of them have been living together for quite some time. It's taken Laura 7 years to get Bevan to the altar.
I call upon these persons here present.
Two witnesses.
He always said that he never wanted to get married. He's quite nervous, and I think standing up in front of everybody, he was just, I just didn't think it was ever going to happen.
This is what I want to do, so what have I got to be nervous about? It's not like a job interview, is it?
You know when you get that feeling that you just know someone's going to just care for you for the rest of your life, and I just get that feeling with Greg.
I therefore proclaim that they are husband and wife. Yes.
I know he'll always be there for me, and that's really important.
Why do you want to be married?
Because I love him and I want to spend the rest of my life with him, and marrying him's just the icing on the cake. I want to be Mrs. Trott.
Do you?
Yeah.
Don't you look handsome?
Because I've been married before, I am obviously wary of the fact that I know what happens if a marriage ends. But luckily I know that with Ian it's not going to end that way.
And you may kiss your bride, Ian. And I think a round of applause.
We're going to be together till we're old and wrinkly. And
How do you know?
I just know. I just know that we're going to be together. I love him, he loves me. We're just perfect together.
It's not unusual nowadays for weddings to be attended by the children of the bride and groom. The long delay between Karen and David's engagement and wedding means their two sons are nearly in their teens.
Dave proposed, bought me a ring, planned the party, we booked the town hall. That was 16 years ago. I've been waiting 16 years to write that in my diary, and there it was, getting married, 3 o'clock.
And half an hour later, the pagans, Caroline and Adam, arrive at the registry office for their first wedding of the day. What does it mean to you then, getting married?
It means promising that I will be there for him for the rest of our lives.
Are you both going to wear a ring?
We've made our rings in India.
Yeah, we made them ourselves, yeah.
What are they like?
They're beautiful. Have you got yours with you?
A bit like that.
Are they identical then? You've got
No,
one?
Caroline's is far better than mine, unfortunately.
Yours is lovely.
But it's a good first attempt.
This ring I give,
This ring I give,
as a symbol of the vows we have made.
as a symbol of the vows we have made.
One of the reasons that we're getting married is because we knew that we wanted to have children with each other, and we feel that it's important to have kind of a united family, and marriage is very integral to that, I think. This is for life.
Caroline and Adam's second wedding, a pagan ceremony, will be tonight at midnight.
That's lovely. Eyes open, smile.
And if today is, for many, all about achieving dreams, then Mel has realised hers. Not just of marrying Shell, but of having her father walk beside her to give her away.
To get my father there is the biggest heart-wrench of my life. Get out his little wheelchair and walk down with me.
He's going to try and walk with
Yeah, he's going to try and walk with me, yeah. He's been ill since he was 46, so he's 62. No, I know he'd do it. He's a tough old cookie.
To get him to be at her wedding, stood next to her, is a very emotional thing for her.
I promise to cherish and care for you. And care for you. To support and encourage you.
Of course we're in love. Obviously it's not like a 6 months love or a year love. It's a much stronger and a deeper love, which is everlasting.
I will respect you.
I will respect you.
As an individual.
As an individual.
And be true to you.
And be true to you.
Throughout the years ahead.
Throughout the years ahead.
Well done. Thank you. Would you please take your seats?
Whatever emotions and ups and downs we've got in our life, we face together. And we love each other very much, very deeply.
Okay, gentlemen?
If getting married and giving birth are two of the most important and joyful moments in anyone's life, then having to bury your child must surely be one of the most painful. 26-year-old Martin died 11 days ago, sitting in the front seat of his father's van on the way to work.
You don't expect to bury your kids. It's something you think you're never going to get over. I suppose you say time's a healer, but I don't think so. We'll see. We've done everything together. Got to do it on my own now.
Just knowing that my brother was in there, you know, in that car in front, and that's it. It just felt final. It just felt like this is it. Never going to see him again, you know. It was hard. When I was carrying the coffin, I was just in a right mess. It's just knowing he was there beside my head, because they weren't going to let me carry the coffin. And first of all, because I was crying so much, and I just said, no, I've got to have him there beside me. Just even it's for 10 minutes, you know. I've just got to have him there. I felt like I should have done more. I did apologise to him when I seen him lying in the funeral parlour. I just said sorry. I didn't realise how bad it was for him. I just didn't know.
Well, Porky began life back in 1981, as he was born on the 14th of August, to be exact.
I felt guilty for him dying so young. I felt that I should have helped him. I felt I should have forced him to go to the doctors.
He was a typical kid growing up.
I tried my best. But it was always in the back of my head, he's a man, he needs to sort himself out. You can't help him all the time. Nobody helped me. Why should everybody help him? And then I feel horrible for thinking like that. He needed help. He needed help.
At Southmead Maternity Unit, it's been a very busy day. 12 babies have been born here since midnight. And after a morning's wait, it's Sue and Jason's turn in theatre.
Until you actually have that baby in your arms, it's not quite real.
You're in an operating theatre and there's half a dozen people down that end of your wife, there's half a dozen people this end of your wife, and you're sat here and there's strange music playing.
I can think about it and talk about it, but until I see it and hold it, it's not real yet. It would be nice if it was a girl. I've got a feeling it's going to be another boy, but it would be nice if it was a little girl.
It's very odd. It's not till they actually sort of lift the baby up above the little curtain that you can actually think, oh, baby. And then all the emotions come out and you start...
Sobbing.
Basically, yeah.
Here it comes.
There it is.
What is it?
We'll show you. There you are.
It's a girl!
Congratulations. Well done. Take off the lamp so I
got my girl.
And Granny's got her girl.
After my skin has been destroyed, then, in my flesh, I shall see God.
Not long after baby Isabel entered the world, the family and friends of Henry Vincent Vassall gathered at the cemetery to finally lay him to rest.
Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted.
Although it was a sad time for everyone, it's a celebration of their life. They say that you should weep when somebody's born into this world and rejoice when somebody leaves this world. People try not to, be down and be sad all the time. They want to enjoy the memories of that person.
I am going to say goodbye.
In a West Indian funeral, there's always someone who will probably lead the singing. In this particular case, it was my man called Mr. Danny. A very nice man. He was at my mother's funeral, did the same thing.
I am going to say goodbye.
I'm hoping that when I go, I will get the same sort of send-off. I wouldn't like to know that people didn't come and sing around my grave or help to dig and bury me.
Do you think Henry would have been pleased?
Yes, I think he would have been. People were there to show their respects and that they cared. I think he would have liked that. I thought I'd done him proud, and people told me so as well. It was a good send-off.
I've had such a fantastic day.
Yeah.
I want to get married every day to you.
Come on.
Aren't we, sweetie?
Yeah. We're having a traditional wedding as close as we can get it. So you've got to have the first dance. It's tradition to have the first dance. And she's, okay, I'll go with it. Damn it.
Yes, anything.
Anything to keep me happy.
Something that we know that we will always be together. There is never going to be anybody else for me, and
there's never going to be anybody else for me.
And we will be together until
death do us part.
Yeah, till the end.
The old Victorian cemeteries are full, burial sites are limited, and these days most people opt for cremation. But Martin's family wanted a grave to visit.
We had to finish it off.
Just wanted to just be the last people to really touch him, if you
That's
like.
right.
To just be the last people to touch him. We were the last to touch him, and we got that moment then to remember. I couldn't have not done it, even though if I was in such a bad state, I still had to do it.
Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall not die eternally. Because I live, you will live also. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
I love you, boy. Sorry, I'm sorry.
The longest day of the year is drawing to its close. The bereaved have said their goodbyes and the undertaker's work is done. But at Southmead Maternity Unit, the pace of arrivals has not slackened. It's early evening and 17 babies have been born here since midnight.
Is that a contraction?
These are all contractions now.
Yeah, that right there, because it's gone a bit tight. Do you think it's like there's a baby there?
If you pop your hand up on there.
Yeah, I can feel something. It's like a,
Probably
it's like a
feels-
wave or something.
It is, yeah.
Ah, yeah, I feel
that's
that.
the contraction.
Yeah, I have a contraction in there. Just a bit of a jagah ho rahi hai just under. Mum's going to do the night shift, so I'm going to go home now. I don't think I'm going to sleep. If I don't sleep, I'm just going to come back again. Yeah, I'm just going to get some sleep. Yeah, I'll come back later on. All right? Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Phone, yeah, keys, a wallet. All right. So it's still okay for me to come back, yeah?
Yeah,
Whenever
it's fine
I
for you to
can.
come back.
Obviously, if you like ring me, I'll be here.
Yeah.
All right then.
Take care.
Oh yeah, you too. Thanks very much for your help and everything.
You're welcome.
You know, I'll try and pop back later on as well in a couple of hours if I
Come
can.
back whenever you want to.
All right. Thanks very much.
All right,
I'll see
all
you.
the best then.
Cheers, then.
Not long after Simon left, Santosh and her baby became distressed and the decision was made to operate. Simon only just made it back in time.
Not a moment, thank you.
Can't feel myself now.
Well done, congratulations.
God, no.
You are daddy of a what do we have?
I heard the first cry, and that was it. We just looked at each other and for that split second, we both, I felt really like I just felt like I was going to float away or something. I felt light as a feather, you know?
Here we go. There she is.
Both of us is like when the penny drops and that's it. You know you're a father and a mother. You don't matter anymore. It's all about this little, you know, this little person now here. And it's all about her. And that's it. You just revolve your life around this little baby, you know? This is it for us. Our life's complete.
She's sweet, isn't she?
I love being a mum. I don't think you could do anything greater than having children, creating life.
Your life's richer because you've got this little animal you've got to look after. It gives you a focus as opposed to just meandering on through life like you try to most of the time. Who's that? That's Isabel. That's your little sister.
Moving now,
Now you can go out and buy all that pink crap
Too
that
late.
you want to buy.
We booked it. Too late, we bought it this afternoon. Just the little fingers there, you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
And the general outlook for the UK over the next 24 hours. An area of low pressure will be moving northeast, bringing with it a band of rain that will move through the Midlands.
BBC News at 9 o'clock. One of President Robert Mugabe's closest advisors, the actor.
This has been the most amazing day of my life and I would treasure it for as long as I live.
And that's 13 years on, that is.
13 years on. Hopefully another 13 years,
Oh,
eh?
more than that. Blimey, I don't...
Well, actually,
I'm
it's
not
12
kicking it yet.
years. 12 years, 11 months and 20 days.
Oh, she knows it to the day.
I am the sun at its rising, the sylphs of air, the season of spring. My gift is the air you breathe.
By the standing stones at Avebury, Caroline and Adam have their second wedding, a pagan hand-fasting ceremony conducted by the chief druid.
Mine is the sword that cuts through illusion, the sword of justice. Like the air, communication should flow between you.
European leaders are meeting to discuss the fallout of the failed meeting with Robert Mugabe.
Israel carried out a major military exercise in rehearsal for a potential bombing attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. More than 100 F-16 and F-15 aircraft took part in maneuvers over the eastern Mediterranean.
Good girl, that's it. Keep going then.
As midnight approaches, today's events spill over into the morning of tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Another day is about to begin, soon to be filled with the ordinary and the extraordinary moments in the everyday cycle of life.
Final bit now. Okay. You're doing really well.
What are you worried about? I'm scared it's gonna hurt.
Big one.
Oh, that's it. Really pull back on
That's
those
it.
legs. Pull back on those legs. And push, 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 push.
That's it.
Well done. Keep going.
Big one.
Okay, another one.
Go on. That's it.
Go on, Sarah. Well done. Keep it